Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into a topic. You guys sent a ton of questions about the LA wildfires, but
Yeah,
with a twist.
a twist.
Yeah, we're zeroing in on this head scratcher about water access. You saw those images, right?
Mhm.
Huge fires over what, 36,000 acres just burning?
Yeah, it was devastating.
Absolutely. Lives lost, homes gone. And Governor Newsom even mentioned fire hydrants running dry.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, you would think.
And here's the thing that just doesn't add up. LA's right on the Pacific Ocean. So why were firefighters having so much trouble getting the water they needed? It's not exactly a desert out there.
Right. You'd think they could just stick a hose in the ocean and problem solved.
Exactly. So
Right.
what's the deal with salt water? Why can't firefighters just use that massive supply?
It sounds so obvious, right? But it's not that simple. Think about it this way. If you were constantly spraying down all your tools, your equipment with salt water every single day, what would happen?
Oh man, they would rust out super fast.
Yeah.
Like what happens to a car in a coastal town?
Exactly. That's saltwater corrosion. And it's a big deal for all that firefighting equipment. Planes, pumps, hoses, it all takes a beating.
Right. So it's not just about putting out the fire at that moment, but making sure your tools are good to go for the long haul.
Exactly. We need that equipment to be reliable, and saltwater just eats away at it.
Makes sense. And I imagine there's more to it than just the corrosion issue, right?
Oh, yeah. So saltwater isn't actually as good at cooling down flames as fresh water is.
Really?
Yeah, it's less effective. Plus, and this is a big one, saltwater conducts electricity way better. Think about it. Firefighters spraying water everywhere in the middle of a blaze, and suddenly there's a much higher risk of electrocution.
Oh, wow. That's scary. And I'm guessing dumping tons of salt on the land can't be good for the environment either.
Definitely not. Think about it like this. Plants need to drink water, right? But imagine trying to drink through a straw with a bunch of sand mixed in.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Right. That's basically what happens to plants when they're hit with too much salt. It messes with their ability to absorb water and nutrients and can cause long-term damage to the soil.
So it's not just the immediate fire we have to worry about, but the lasting effects on the land and the ecosystem. Are there ever situations where using salt water for firefighting makes sense?
There are, but it's always a tough call. In really extreme situations where there are literally no other options, salt water might be used as a last resort. But it's not ideal, and they'd have to target very specific areas knowing there would be some environmental consequences.
It's a trade-off for sure.
Hmm.
So it seems like we can't always count on the ocean, especially in places like California that are prone to wildfires.
Mm-hmm.
What are our options then?
Well, we need to get a lot more proactive about managing our freshwater resources and look into new solutions, like maybe investing in better desalination tech specifically for emergencies. There are ways to make it more efficient and targeted.
So even with something as basic as water, there are all these layers of complexity we have to think about?
Absolutely. And this situation really shows how interconnected everything is. Decisions we make in a crisis can have a ripple effect on the environment, the economy, even future generations.
It's a reminder to think long-term, even when we're dealing with an immediate threat. So knowing all this about saltwater and wildfires, how would you approach resource management in a similar situation?
That's a good question. You have to think about the needs of the moment for sure, but also the long-term health of the environment and community.
A delicate balance.
Exactly. You don't want to solve one problem just to create a whole new set of challenges down the road.
Well said. It's definitely something to think about. So to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the LA wildfires and the saltwater paradox. Keep exploring.
Yeah, thanks for listening.